Hello and welcome to day 19 of the Beer Jerk Premium Advent Calendar. I'm Luke.
And I'm Matt.
Today we're drinking a table beer, Matt.
I love table beer.
Yeah, pretty crazy about table beers.
We have a big table beer agenda here at Beer Jerk, so really excited to see this in the Advent calendar.
Yeah, hopefully there's going to be a few brewers, whether they be home brewers or professional brewers, that are drinking along with us and get inspired to brew their own table beer, because it's a style that we'd love to see more of. Being brewed here in New Zealand, but this is a table beer that was brewed in Gippsland, Australia.
Yeah.
Cheers. By our mates at Sailor's Grave. So, yeah, they do really cool stuff at Sailor's Grave. We're big fans, as we are of everyone in the box. So I feel like that's a thing I repeat a lot, but it's true. We get beers from people that we really like and brewers that are really talented. So Gab and Chris, who were the husband and wife team at Sailor's Grave, they do a lot with the land. They definitely have a real farmhouse style to their approach to brewing. They've just got a maltings that they're bringing online at the moment. So they're going to be working with local farmers in their rural area. We work with local farmers using corn in their ingredients and just all sorts of various different botanicals and agricultural products that they do interesting, modern and old-fashioned stuff with. And this is a pretty old-fashioned beer, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. And so a lot of the, as Luke was saying, they do stuff with lots of local produce. A lot of the stuff that they use, they grow themselves. This isn't an example of it, but a lot of the beers that they make, they forage and grow a lot of the ingredients themselves. So they do stuff with interesting regional ingredients. And but this one is, as Luke says, a tall table beer. So the difference between a tall table beer and a regular table beer is this is slightly higher ABV than most of the normal table beers that you'll see, sitting at 5%, whereas most table beers sit in the 2 or 3% range.
I'm also pretty sure they invented the term tall table beer, right? And that's the thing.
I think they did.
Well, that's how anything begins, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so the table beer is most commonly associated with saisons, though it is a broad style where you can have different interpretations of it. Kind of like a saison in that way, I guess, where it's really a lower ABV sessionable beer, usually saison derived. So it's got that, as we had with Boat Rocker, it's got that kind of spritzy carbonation. It's got that farmhouse yeast, kind of funk, peppery spiciness to it.
Yeah.
And it's just designed for pairing with food. Any food is kind of part of the idea. It's beer for the table. So whatever food you're putting on, you bring out a big jug or a few cans of that and you share it around. And yeah, it's a beer that is flavorful but kind of gets out of the way. It doesn't kind of bash you over the head with it.
Yeah, and this is a rebrew, the first brew of this beer in 2019. And I wonder what might have happened. I haven't really chatted to Gab or Chris about the story of brewing this beer, but just with the René Magritte referencing name, Cinnapart and Piep, that you may be aware of that artwork, and obviously one of those famous Belgians for a Belgian style. This is not a table. This is not a table beer, really, because it's 5%. It's a saison. So I wonder if the story was that it just simply carried on fermenting and just ended up a bit busier than maybe the plan to make a table beer, and it just ended up a bit boozy, so they invented the tall table style, and whatever it is, it's delicious.
Well, I guess that means I've got a tall table beer on tap at home, because that's exactly what happened to me. I brew a lot of table beers at home. It's one of my go-to styles, but sometimes the yeast can be a little unpredictable.
Yeah.
It's something that I've found certainly at home, and we found a couple of times with Small Gods beers where the yeast will do what it'll do, and especially when you're working with a new yeast. You'll have a published what's called attenuation range. That means that basically it's the percentage of sugars that in a liquid that yeast is able to consume. So a lot of saisons and light funky Belgian styles will have yeasts that attenuate almost up to 100%, which this is what that feels like to me. It's got that kind of dryness to it, and that means it's eaten all the sugar in the beer, which obviously contributes to higher alcohol. Whereas a lot of your ale yeasts will leave you with 30% of the sugar left, so they'll attenuate 70% of the beer. And so you can have that range, usually between 70 and 90% of the sugar gets eaten by the yeast. That's what happened to me at home. I used the published range on the yeast, and it just went further than the packaging told me it would. So you get some slightly higher ABVs that way.
Yeah, and it's a dry beer. And as you said, this is a beer that's going to pair really nicely with food. So beers like this in Belgium, you might pair with. They do a wonderful thing in quite a few places where they have these little cubes of cheese. So it's often a kind of cheese that's actually made at the same monasteries where beers are made. So a lot of monks make cheese as well as making beer. So these monastic cheeses that are sort of like Gouda or Edam, I suppose, a relatively bland cheese. So you have these cubes of cheese with toothpicks and then some spicy mustard. And that's just such a nice beer snack, which I reckon will go perfectly with this. So if you've got some mustard and cheese in the fridge.
I think Belgium is my spirit animal in that sense. It's like beer, cheese and mustard, yes please. I'd love to have that on a Saturday.
Dinner sorted.
So it's just kind of like the Beer Jet Christmas party that we had on Friday where we spent far too much money on fancy cheese and ate it with delicious beer.
That was a very, very good cheesy time, yeah. Sorry you weren't invited, but you could join us at the Beer Joke staff Christmas party next year if you get a job here. So if you're after a job, I am hiring at the moment, so do get in touch. Yeah. But all in all, bloody good beer from Sailor's Grave. But as expected, as they always are, I've never seen them put a foot wrong, really. I just really love their innovation, their artistry. They work with all kinds of fantastic artists, and also Gab is also an artist. So she created this wonderful deck of cards last year that are just so beautiful. So her art is on some of the cans.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And there's a really nice kind of citrus and spice profile to this beer. So a lot of the best table beers have that kind of balance where you've got some kind of lemon rind, lime zest, kind of citrus on the nose there, but it's not kind of over the top. It's kind of fairly restrained. It's got kind of a touch of acidity on the back of the palate, but not veering into tartness. And that kind of lovely spice profile. It's kind of peppery. There's a kind of almost a coriander-y kind of note there.
Yep.
So that's you get that kind of rich and well-integrated blend of flavors from the yeast, which kind of go to just give you that really nice flavorful vibe without being overbearing or too heavy in any aspect.
Yeah, really good pepperiness, kind of like a nicely balanced spiciness, which, as I say, will go really nicely with food. It'll go really well with things like omelettes or a souffle as well, I reckon. And really nice with a lot of these beers that we've curated. It's not a hop-forward beer. Now, I definitely find that, of course, that hops are what everyone loves, and everyone loves a good IPA or a hoppy pale ale, but also there's a world of different beer styles out there. So what we love doing is curating and pulling together different interesting beers that are not necessarily hop forward beers, because there's interesting stuff in the malt and in the yeast and in interesting adjuncts.
Yeah, and if, like us, you do enjoy a table beer, keep an eye out on our Tex Beer service later in the week. You will have received a flyer in your box for Tex Beer, and I think we've talked about it early in the Advent Calendar videos. But Tex Beer is our service where you sign up and we send you fantastic beers at great prices by text message every week. So, for instance, today you missed out on a Mountain Culture deal, which went out earlier.
Really good deal.
Some fantastic oat cream IPA for a banging price. We sent you that text message, and if those of you who replied yes, Joe is in the chiller right now, busy putting stickers on those to wing their way to you with same day shipping, and hopefully next day delivery is what we get promised.
Yep.
And we've got a fantastic brand new table beer coming up probably on Thursday this week. So if you haven't signed up for Tex Beer yet, jump on the website, give it a go. It's a 1-minute sign up process that you have to do once, and then after that all you have to do is reply yes to get great beer at great prices the next day.
It is really, really that easy. And Christmas cut-offs with shipping. Couriers aren't too crazy at the moment, but it definitely is touch and go. If you are putting an order in, you want it by Christmas this weekend. You probably will receive it if you order like right now, but otherwise there may be some delays around the country. So if you need some last minute shopping, get in there really fast. If you live near us in Auckland, you can order on the Beer Jack website and order click and collect. So you can pop in and pick up from us this week. And we are going to have a little bit of a break between Christmas and New Year. So yeah, kind of your last chance to get ordering if you want something for Christmas or for your New Year's celebrations.
And if you're lagging a bit behind watching this video, you're watching it on the day before Christmas Eve it's called, I believe.
The day before Christmas.
The day before Christmas. If you are watching this on Christmas Eve and you're like, oh bugger, I got the perfect present I need for someone, gift cards. We have gift cards available on the website. It's digital, so you don't even need to wait for the post. So if you're that late, then there's still an option for you.
Yeah, super easy. You don't need to wait around for couriers. Well, thank you for joining us once again. Day 19. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Folks.